So welcome back to another episode. That's me doing a Scottish version of Johnny, by the way. This is going to be a video about the video I did with Johnny Millenium, the HappyConsoleGamer. I'll leave a link to that below. If you're here, you've probably seen that video because there's really no reason you'll know who I am, unless you're one of my friends or something, because I'm not a YouTuber. So anyway, how it kind of came about was when I was going over to Canada, I had said to Johnny, like, I'm going over at this time to see family and stuff. Let's try and arrange something. He's like, oh yeah, cool. So we worked out a date and stuff, and
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
fucking Amazon Alexa's going off. I probably shouldn't have left that running, but hey ho. Right. Yeah. So what was I talking about there? Okay. Yeah. So I was going over to Canada to see family, and we worked out a time we could hang out, and that was cool. But he had mentioned to me that he had wanted to do a video about what it was like growing up in Europe and what sort of games you could get and what you couldn't get. And he thought it may be a good idea for me to come on because I was part of the import scene at the time. Like, I actually bought some games I knew what we didn't get. And he had wanted to do that. He wanted to do it for Australia, I think, as well at some point. So but yeah, so I was humbled. I thought that was really awesome, and I was nervous about it, and I thought no one's going to be on to understand me, and I was scared to look at the comments. But what I got to say about it is the comments have been so fucking nice. Like, you guys, if you watched it, you were all really awesome. There were a few kind of silly comments that you'd expect, but I expected, like, who the fuck's this faggot? This faggot knows nothing. I did that, fucking stupid cunt. Or yeah, I thought all that stuff would be all over the video, but it really wasn't. But I want to talk about a few things that were in the comments, because there were things I thought about initially, and I didn't know exactly what Johnny wanted from the video until we spoke about it just before we did it. I thought initially, right, if I was talking about European gaming, the first thing I would think, we had more of a home computer scene. So in the kind of 80s and early 90s, Commodore 64, ZX Spectrum, Amiga, and to some extent Atari ST were like the big mediums for playing games. Amiga was like the most pirated thing, and like everyone had an Amiga, it seemed. I was a console person, so I never really went through that. I had a Commodore 64 back in the day, but then I got an NES and SNES, then a PlayStation, N64, whatever. And I never really touched home computers other than that. And there was also another thing we could have discussed, which was the sort of PAL versus NTSC, the speed of games and how Sonic, sounded like it was on. It sounded like it was like on weed or something like that. The music was so slow, and the game kind of played a bit slower. Just because it was 17% slower and they didn't optimize it, and there were a lot of games like that. But he basically said, well, we can't go into everything. We don't want to make a video that's too long, and you will kind of alienate people, and people won't really care anymore. You need to keep it to a single sort of topic. And I thought, all right, okay, so it's basically about imported gaming, what we didn't get, and putting it on the kind of console side of things, kind of like it. Is what his channel is, console gaming. And a lot of people pointed out that the SNES wasn't a massive thing in the same way the home computers and the Genesis was, or the Mega Drive was in the UK, but it was what I played, so it was kind of an anecdotal perspective at the same time. So it was kind of like, and it's more just get an understanding of what awesome games that were out there that we never got to touch, and it was so weird we didn't get to touch them. That's pretty much what it was about. I think there were a couple of questions about it. I mentioned that, there's one about, a question for me about using an NTSC compatible TV. Now, people pointed out that you could use a PAL TV and just plug a SCART cable in, which is very true. I had a TV that didn't have a SCART port at the time, and I could play the games in black and white, but some TVs could play them in black and white, some TVs played them in black and white with flickering, and the flickering was really quite bad in my TV. And the funny thing is, though, Johnny and I were talking about this recently, and when I first played Resident Evil 2 imported, it was in black and white. The screen was flickering. It took me about 2 hours to get working with a swap trick I didn't know how to do. I'd only heard about it, and I got lucky getting it working after like 2 hours the first night I got it. Then I think my dad or something must have turned off the console when I left it on, and I didn't know how to do it after that until I found a magazine that told me like 2 weeks later. So I bought Resident Evil 2 for £60. and managed to get it working after 2 hours that same day. Played it for a couple hours, then couldn't play it till 2 weeks later. You know, you'd never go through that kind of shit. I didn't bring that up, but it's the kind of thing that that kind of prompted this episode. They kind of thought about how awkward it was back in the day. We couldn't just jump on the internet and get information about, oh, just use a SCART cable for that. Oh yeah, if your TV's flickering, there's probably other things you can do. You can probably get something to convert the signal. But you didn't get this information, and I was like, 13, 14 at the time, and I really didn't know very much about, this kind of stuff. You could only really get it at magazines. So yeah, that was one thing that came up. Yeah, and the home computer thing was another. Absolutely, I completely agree. Amiga was like the in thing, but we'd wanted to do more kind of what my experience was and kind of put it to the console side as well. And I got to talk about like big games that weren't even released. That it's kind of shockingly crazy that they weren't released. Anyway, so I want to thank Johnny for bringing me on. That was really really good of him. It was awesome, and I want to thank all you guys for watching. Really good of you, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm sure Johnny hopes you enjoyed it as well. Yeah, hopefully I'll be back on the show again at some point, a couple of years down the line. I'll ask him. I might do another one of the kind of European topics that we'll be talking about, maybe home computer market or something. Anyway, take care, guys.